Spot up going to be located on the right side. This is me. This is me, the crazy ADD 1-6 player, just spamming Q over and over again. First shot's going to be over here on the right side of the map, the east side of the map, the A site of the map. Big Frames will be taken down at first. Spot up now with this information, looking for it. And Big Frames pushing, spike in hand. 2 players down already, but it's a 3-on-2. Spot up can't handle it. And the spike being pushed all the way in the corner. Rotation coming out. And Spot up a little bit far away. One up top, one below. There's a little bit of disorientation, but it's all good. Attackers take it down. 1-0. Big Frames starting this one off very differently than game number 1.
That's pretty important, especially here on the first offensive round and the first pistol round here. Getting those early rounds, especially as the attacker here on split, can really set the pace here. Bulldog coming up for turn up, and the rest is going to be SMGs. I'd be surprised if they committed any more into this right now, as they really do want to try to get as many rifles into the third round as possible.
A site to B site. Swapping it on up. Big Frames went big hard into A. Now they're going to push it to B relatively strongly, but still leave the spike at home. Now picked up. One in mid, looking for the push onto the B site. One taken down on the floor. Heaven going to be empty. Winsome pushing out onto the backside. And we'll wait here for the flank. Spike goes down. 2 players looking to retake. 5 players strong for Big Frames.
Oh, Bunny does find one, though. That's on to Winsome. That's not the person you want to find, especially when you're just in a classic versus class, or excuse me, ghost versus ghost duel. You definitely want to upgrade something to try and go for this retake, but yeah, he's just left on his lonesome at this point, so he's going to have to try to find some sort of exit frag here in Heaven.
Nice job. Bunny from all the way up top takes down one of the better fraggers on Big Frames. Oh, the shot as well. 5 HP and a dream. Bunny, if he jumps, he dies. Falls down. Good job. Going for the defuse. Sticking is one plan. Turning around is the other. And that's that.
Yeah, I think the likelihood of being able to win that was very low. So for him to try to go for at least getting the one last exit frag there was huge for him. Just for the simple fact that it was a 1v2. Right? Chances were that he was going to get double peaked and he was going to go down anyway. Might as well go down on your own terms and try to take one with you.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that for sure. One more time. Gonna mention that third round situation. Big Frames have won the last 2 and Spot up, well, that means they've lost. That said, it also means that they're ready to bang as far as weaponry is concerned. They've saved up after the past 2 rounds of losing, and they're ready to fight on equal footing, theoretically. Big Frames, since they've won, haven't sold their guns, so Big Frames might be holding submachine guns into assault rifles still. So this is one of those moments where Spot Up can really make a difference here. But they're taking it slowly. 1:05 on the clock. Spike all the way home. Nobody making a move here from Spot Up just yet. A site still covered. Paranoia going to go on out. Spike trending towards B. Not fully committed. Spot Up making the rotation now. Still mid, not ready to full go in, but Bunny continues what he started last time around. Double kill for him so far. 3 players on the Spike team. And just like that, Kai finds 2. Flawless victory.
Yeah, that was just a great timing push coming out from Bunny there to be able to catch out too. And he hasn't been afraid to make these plays as well. And so he's still playing to his own comfort currently now. And we're seeing after that, those huge economic losses, by the way, from the round beforehand, Big Frames, their economy is absolutely in tatters here. as they will be able to at least pistol up. We got a couple sheriffs along with the ghost in one hand, but now it's big firepower on the other side. Tem, with that sniper rifle to work with.
Mid-peak with the classic. That's something. Turn up too easy. Trying to take it all the way to Flavor Town. Nerfed and the Sage going to deal with the wall up front. I don't think Spot Up realizes that Nerfed is in this angle. So he might be able to get a one tap here. Tem, on the other hand, long range. Probably mad at himself for missing that opportunity.
Smoke's down.
Bunny providing utility. Spot Up with a large presence, 2 players strong on the B site, but A site is where big frames are directed. One of their players is lurking in mid in case the rotation comes down. And here's the redirection. Half a minute to go. Big frames changing their mind completely. Going to look towards the B side. Spot Up kind of read it and will reinforce on that beta. 2 players coming from downside, 2 players coming from mid, 1 player dead. Big frame's going to take this, and this will be the offensive push. Spot Up gets 1, 2, 3, just like that, and it's the single player left. Raze walks in, gets the kill, but is quickly turned down. Win some, lose some. We're tied at 2.
Proper respect being shown there by Spot Up. They understand, they're playing on the anti-eco round, and that's when big fast executes onto a site happen. And big frames were hoping for that. They were prodding just a little bit, and they tried to get a pick before they made a play. But again, Spot Up giving them the proper distance. They understand they had the weapons advantage, they had the range advantage, and they played towards it very well there. Gave nothing up for free, ultimately, in the end. And so again, building up on this economy, tying it up 2-2 as we head into round number 5.
Even. Very different from game number 1. Bad shot there from the breach. Why do you think the swap here for 10 onto the breach on bind? Is there something specific on bind that makes you want to play the wall man?
There are just so many ranges that you can hit people with your ultimate, and most of your abilities on this map. The lineups are fairly easy, and particularly shutting down A site is such an easy play. If there's a 5-man rush A, a good breach should be able to shut it down.
Sewers. 2 players killed on Spot Up. Nice trade out for the 2 from Tucker. 1 through the wall, both headshots. And so 40 seconds to go. The res comes out from turn up. And big frames, 3 players versus Spot Up's 3 players. That's going to be turned into 2 with the 3rd kill going the way of Tucker. Popped up, shot up, gets it blind. Raze on fire. Tucker just getting it done, man. One from up top. Nice little scoot boot. Can't find the hide behind. And Tucker with the old-fashioned ace. Able to take down Winsome on the run. Beautiful stuff.
Now,
pistol save from big frames this time around.
Yeah, Spot Up, though. We saw what they did on the last anti-eco round for themselves, and I think they're going to play very similarly here. Just go ahead and give the proper respect to what an eco round can do. Challenge maybe a little bit more at mid, but that's about it. At this point, though, Tucker, they're going to do that same thing where they wall off and get a paint shell ready just in case there is a mid-rush.
Bombot's going to show up, and yeah, there's the wall. That really shuts down the rush very, very hard.
This is an odd split push, though, for an eco round for big frames. They've got 2 poking and prodding over at the A site with 3 over at mid. I don't really get much just yet, but got the sheriffs. All it takes is one shot.
Oh, but he misses too. That said, teammate doesn't. Nice job there from Randy, the bottom fragger in game number 1. Give me a corpse, he says, and gets the information. One player playing D. Good shots from high to low. The snap pick is good. And Tem looking strong here. Uses the ability to fall on back, one away from the ultimate. Still has the flash available. I'm going to figure out where to go. As Winsome slowly approaches from the other side, misses everything, tries to come in with the ult, misses that as well, and dies. Oh, no. I felt that in my soul. I love our team here. Every once in a while, production has to be like, what was that?
Wow, that round almost got away, though.
Yeah.
From spot up at the end there in the 3v1, by the way. So, yeah, you can't rest on your laurels, and this is why you have to respect the eco rounds.
Gotta be aware. Losing 4 into a team with all pistols? I mean, that's... is there a way that you can soften that blow, Jamerson? Does that somehow feel okay somewhere?
I don't know if it ever goes away, that pain. It just kind of sticks with you.
Pain.
That goes there.
Pain. Nice shot there. The aggressive angle from Tem. And that's something that we saw them do last match as well. Charge through garage. Fall back right here. Charge up the long sight. Fall back. And now big frames. 3 players looking for a plant onto the B site.
They haven't figured out where the camera is. It was just a really high up position over here on the B side, and it was very good that he didn't let them know that he saw them over there at B main. So
yeah, sometimes you can get lured into a trap of your own design by having an itchy trigger finger on that recon dart, so to speak. So the patience there, I think, showed up.
So yeah, that operator going to go back into the hands of Tem here. So it's been a rough half for big frames. They just haven't been able to get much going at all beyond those pistol rounds. Now, Spot Up really getting a good bang, a good economy going here halfway through this.
Smoke's down.
It's clear. Curious. That wasn't ideal. Jumped onto the site very quickly.
Smoke's down.
A lot of players still on the A side with a D, not a T. Haven't pushed onto the site just yet. But there's 3-4 players with big frames. 3 players pushed up onto the right. 2 players up on mid. Can't decide. Rather, can't break in. I think they have decided. 55 on the clock here. Probably only one shot, and with the spike down, only one choice. 4 players killed, only one alive. Scratch that. Another flawless for Spot Up. 6-2. 8-2. 6-2.
Yeah, that's massive. We were talking about that economy. This is really the runaway zone for them at this point, as big frames. Looks like, yeah, they should be able to get a full buy off this, but these rifle rounds, they haven't been even. The closest we get are on some of these eco rounds for them.
Yeah.
So that's a very troubling sign.
I mean, that's interesting. Why is that? You think big frames are maybe double guessing themselves, second guessing themselves when they have the artillery? When you're just coming out with pistols, you just run and gun, and oops, we did it. Is it a confidence thing here?
I don't think it's a confidence thing. They're still making the plays. I think that they would. There might just be. I think it might be a tempo thing. You know, they don't have these really fast executes onto sites, and Spot Up have been able to play the angles and have been winning those duels generally without much issue. So it might be time for a very high tempo execute onto a site. But again, this is Split, where you kind of need to take a little bit of your time over at mid to get something going.
Nice shot there will give Spot Up their first bad look of the game, it seems like. That said, they're able to even things up relatively smoothly. 2 players alive, big frames on the offensive, 3 players up. And the spike down here over at B. So again, big frames with what could be their 3rd win of the match. 6-2 currently. Spot Up in charge, but not in this round. Shots from behind. Not dead just yet. Randy Savage has a good angle. Doesn't need it. Turn up. Takes 2. 9 in. Big frames grab their 3rd.
And I want to say that round came down to a lot of just finally winning individual duels and the challenge over at the A site. I think this might be an opportunity for big frames to try and make a big push onto A. Actually, no, scratch that. Breach has his ult. That's not going to work.
Breach can. This is what you were talking about.
Right here.
Breach just shuts down this push, right? If you try to go for like a 5-man push onto A from that same angle. So yeah, this is actually a proper play coming up from big frames, playing a little bit more default here at this point in time. If they can force out the breach ult, then another round they will have that opportunity, but definitely not this one.
It's a 2 push up mid, location revealed thanks to the trip wire.
Smoke's down.
Such a frustrating ability to walk into. What do you do there? Okay, you know we're here.
Yeah, clear it and then come up with another plan.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Cypher. Everybody looks at Sage. Cypher's the must-have. I ain't seen a single composition without a Cypher. Walking up the ramp. Everything coming up Millhouse for big frames this time around until the spike goes down. Nice trade. One out for another. Spot Up. I believe there's 1 player alive. The Sage player, the lone defender here. Spike's gonna go down. Sage
The spike.
and Breach. 2 players up versus Big Frames' 4. Jamerson, save or not?
They don't have to. Their economy is good. I think staying together and just trying to play for exit would be much better. This is kind of awkward for them to run all the way back towards B and over to the attacker's spawn. I kind of wanted to see them maybe play a little bit more on mid to try to get the exits, go over to like sewers and play for that for the exit frags, because big frames are the ones that don't have much of an economy behind them. They do have a lineup.
Big Frame's gonna grab number 4.
Yeah, but Big Frame's also understanding that they can't lose anything, so they just run barely out of range of that bomb.
Setting up here. Big Frames leaning towards A. Now they're going to rotate back towards mid. And all right. So spread out one more time. Just going to be playing default. Mid push again. 1 player waiting and it doesn't matter. Oh no. Tem comes up positive with that shot. And now Big Frames had their moment, but it could just be a flash in the pan. 2 go down. Big Frames, though, going to check me on that one. Doing a great job after the fact. 3 players up for SU and 3 players up. Big Frames. Good job from Winsome to get the angle up here. Spike down, walled off as the back line. And so players can only come through garage or the top side. And the top side will be where Kai walks up from. Gonna res up Tucker as well. Fires from the right side, and Kai knows where that's at. Tem shows up, takes one out with the pistol. Here's the ultimate coming out from Breach. They're trying to push in real hard. Raise up. Can't find it. The corner is good. Big Frames, though. Answers back. Too easy. Takes down Kai. And it's a 1-on-1. Turn up here. Looks to the right, won't find it. Looks to the left, gets it in the head. And just like that, Big Frames are one away from the tie.
So Spot Up thought they had like this great read over at A, where they end up, of course, going for that initial peak, right, with Tem. Big Frames had been playing the Cypher there maybe 3 rounds in a row by himself, and they noticed that, and they do of course capitalize off of it. But Big Frames, like I said, they needed to play a little bit more quick tempo, and so once they recognized that there were 2, maybe 3 players over there, over on A, they had the opportunity and full control over mid, and that's why they were able to just push for free onto the B site. CP2 starts it off, taking out Tem.
Not a bad look at all. Big Frames here, ready to go. 4v4. They've got to be used to this at this point. I feel like most of Big Frames' rounds have been 4 versus 4. Kai's going to get one through the wall in the head. Knowing those spots, baby.
I know exactly.
Knowing those spots.
Yeah, CP2 finding a second one here, and Big Frames really changing up the momentum. Well, they still do have to get the spike down and go ahead and put it down over here on the A site. This is a different spike plant. I've never actually seen anyone plant back way far back like that.
And that different is all I want. When it comes to these tack shooters, I think we saw this in our first best of 3, but just give me different. I spent a lot of time talking about odd angle, right? You're going to look where you expect to look, and in these frenetic 2-minute maximum rounds, every second counts, especially with the time to kill. So, if the spike is planted in a weird spot, that's a good thing. Nice job here. The downside, of course, is how well can you defend it? CP2, baby.
Yeah. That's weird. Like, that's a weird plan for A ramp, and he was able to really capitalize off of that. The 2 last defenders there, really just slowing them down enough for him to just go for that sneaky peek. And so Big Frames just before the half tied up 6-6 as we swap sides. We'll see. This is definitely been cracked wide open, and Big Frames now have the opportunity to win this.
Right there.
Big Frames have been looking better on these pistols, like we said. And you mentioned maybe it's a tempo thing. So now that Big Frames are playing on the defensive, I find that they're not in the best position to dictate the tempo. So what do you do here? Big Frames has found their wins off of when they're able to set the pace of the game. How do you find the wins here? Where Spot Up is clearly looking to do the same. They're going to do a 30-second hold.
Yeah, Winsome might be able to just shut this down with his paint shells. It's hard to sell a fake on a pistol round.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is probably not the fake, right? So he's not going to read that gamble. There it is. Winsome. Big damage with the paint shells.
Nerf's going to come in as well, show up with the shot after the fact, and Spot Up gets shot up. 3 players up still. Smoke's good. Big Frame's trying to shoot on through it. Winsome looked good beforehand, but is low on HP. 80% of it gone. Oh, sees the teammate.
There.
Sage was like, hello? Oh, nope, you're good. Oh, that's exactly what I heard. Oh. Oh, man, I'll be here all week, folks. Big Frames. Very strong. And Spot Up, not quite. 7-6. Big Frames trying to get us to that Game 3 bonus Valorant. Hell yeah.
Just a nice hold coming out from Big Frames there. Of course, like I said, usually you don't fake on a pistol round, right? That money that you invest into your abilities, you got to make sure it gets something. And it's hard to fake here on Split. And so with that, Winsome with a great read. This time around, he's going to be playing mid, like we do see Sages and Razes doing so here on here in this map so far.
Big damage up mid. Very repetitive is this map. It's just difficult to find a rhythm anywhere outside of this just mid hallway.
Yeah, the fight for it is very important. Randy Savage already find that first kill onto Figment though, and this mid push just really getting halted.
Spike dropped. Spot up 3 strong versus Big Frames is identical situation. Ghost gonna be picked up. Oh no, just kidding. Slow rotate underground. And Big Frames are spread out more than spot up for sure. That's just offense versus defense. A site gonna be the choice? Yes. But it will be the full all around 32 on the clock. The backwards entry from A site.
I've never seen this.
Okay. Nice stuff. I love it. I love it. Get creative, folks.
See ya.
Big Frames has no idea. They're like, where are they? And the spike goes down. Nerfed! Nerfed, what are you watching? Nerfed, are you supposed to watch that?
Yeah. He has ultimately redeemed himself, though.
Yep.
So they get that down. I have never seen that.
First time for everything.
So weird, yeah.
First time for everything. 8-6. Spot up. How's their economy looking right now? Big money. Okay, so they're going to be able to buy into this one. But they have to win this one. Look at that. Hundreds of dollars left over for Spot Up.
Yes.
They really got to be finding this. Tucker, I guess, deciding. All right, there it is.
This goes here.
Spot Up's a Phantom team, huh?
Yes, this should do.
Yeah, there has been a lot of Phantoms, but this is also one of those maps where you can fairly regularly play within the Phantom range, being that full headshot, one-shot range. Especially like playing over here, like mid. Ooh, CP2 finds one.
Enemy down.
Connector. Bunny is going to be able to pick one up here.
Flash out.
Tim with the blind. And Bunny just trying to maintain control of mid. Big Frames have done a great job of stopping this mid push without really investing too much. The odd smoke. They lose one, but they get a trade. 4-on-4.
My camera is busy.
Okay, full-on push coming out from B. This could go very bad very quickly for them. Cyber Cage goes up. They're slowed down. They do find one on the entry.
Nobody in the backside, so not going to be surprised there. Orbital Strike comes out. Good call from Brimstone. I feel like that's just a checkbox. It's not difficult to pull off. You have to, you just bide your time. Good stuff. Molly out of the backside. Spike planted normally. It's the only spot you can plant it. And CP2 coming around slowly. Gets one. Not going to be fast enough there. Good job from Spot Up. Kind of sticking together. Almost got collatted, but, almost.
Very close, yeah. If he had gotten the collat, then there's an opportunity there. But
Right.
I appreciate the ambitiousness with that op. Right now, though, there we go. That was the kind of, that could be the shift of momentum for Spot Up that they would really need here in this half. As we do have, looks like it's going to be a cheeky peek coming out from Big Frames here over at B main.
Could be tough. Turn up, gonna miss. Randy won't. And Big Frames again, feeling good. Spot Up, real spread out. One player with Spike in mid. That's dangerous. Full stop. But that's what they're gonna do. It looks like players are gonna bolster that mid push. Bunny leading the charge, getting the kills as well. 2 players by his side. One of them is Sage, heals him up to full after the trade. Players coalescing in mid here. Big Frame still spread on out. And here's a flash. Spike carrier goes down. Big Frames on the good side of this one. Kai walking on in. Jumping on down. No problem here. And this site wide open. Wide open. Figment gonna peek around, but this looks like an open site. And the spike down. They gotta defend.
Yeah, I like the commitment to the push onto B side here, even though they ended up losing one. They didn't chase after win some on the opposite end. Now, though, they do have, of course, a man advantage, just trading away until that all happens. Now it's all just down to one.
And then it was down to none. Attackers take this one. 8-8.
Like I said, it was the commitment onto that push, right? Winsome pushed up through rope room, got the frag, and as soon as they fell back to ropes, they didn't chase after it. They didn't get hungry for that kill. The plan was, of course, to get onto the B side, and that's exactly what they did afterwards, not getting slowed down by them. So very fast and heavy coming up from spot up to tie up this map.
8-8. When I was a kid, I was really good at 8 times 8 because it's 64 and it made me think of Nintendo 64. My brain is poisoned. Big Frames trying to burst onto the scene over at B site. And there's going to be a little bit of trouble. Big damage onto Tucker, but the heal is going to be strong. Mid lane one more time will be the reassessment, as the B push won't come out the way they wanted to. Bunny gets rezzed by Kai, and a full 5-on-5 one more time. Less than a minute remaining. Cool frog statue. Like frogs, water and land, amphibians. Spike still pushing up mid. Bunny on the right side. He has sat here virtually every round. Gets a pick or two. And then what happens after depends on the team. Orbital Strike going to clear out the connector, and here comes the flank from the rocket launcher. 3 dead on red team. 4, and only 1 player up. It's Sage. She gets the kill. Kai looks good. Kai versus 1, and Kai says why. Big Frames takes this round, and they're leading 9-8.
Yeah, I didn't get to exactly see the placement on that orbital strike. It looked a little off. I'm not entirely too sure where it went down, but yeah, good effort though, coming out from spot up. But again, they left themselves with very little room for error on that push. Like you mentioned, it was down to about 45 seconds before they started that execute. And again, there was no room for error whatsoever. Good trades coming out from Big Frames there though. Take back the lead now, 9-8. Cheeky peek over here at long A. Nothing coming of it though for CP2. Actually, it's his demise.
Woof. Spot up in a better spot than they were last time, jockeying back and forth for position on this best of 3. Winsome gonna answer, and so a 4
exactly where you are.
on 4. A site, the push. Spike gonna be coming all the way around, so maybe not. So much back and forth play in this game, in all honesty.
The weird thing is the response coming out right now from Big Frames. But because Spot Up are taking so long on this regroup, they are able to respond. And it looks like it may very well be another B execute.
Could be. Big Frame's going to rotate as well. Ooh, that's a little ugly. Bunny hopping on through. Go down. We're on the site, and so a full rotation the other way. Breach's nonsense going to be dodged out here. And the Spike fake plant, and the Spike real plant. Big Frames have to fight into this. I think we're going to be tied at 9.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard retake, especially they're already a man down. But there we go. Tucker, quick peek. Randy Savage going down, and that's going to be, yep, you got to go save. Big Frames backing instantly off after losing that man.
Yeah, leave me alone. Just run all the way there. Turn up to easy. Gonna save up on the Phantom for sure. When was the last time you saw somebody buy a Stinger? Where is that a useful item?
I mean, Stinger's still good.
It's 1,000 credits, so I mean that's the best feature it has, right?
The rate of fire is decent on it, and of course, like after that pistol round, generally that's more or less when you see it. So second round and third rounds of every half is about the only opportunity where we get to see the Stinger come out.
Nine. Pop. How is that through the wall? Nice shot nonetheless. B push again, deterred. It seems like Spot Up tries that B push every time, and they get punished either heavily like that or slightly, and they're like, all right, never mind. Like every time they just like, can we? Okay, our bad. And then they walk back towards mid. I like that they give it a shot every time, though.
Yeah, you got to keep them honest, keep them guessing on how you approach this at this point. Right now, they're going to go ahead and push through B main, though, as they might have forced out some rotations over there. Wall off from turn up, so he can just concentrate on this angle, and he hits the shot. Tucker goes down.
Nice job so far from Big Frames, trying to keep this one a little bit tight. Thrifty on the eco, baby. 10-9. And one more time, we trade. Incredible to think that Spot Up went on a, 6-round streak in the early game, and then gave up a 6-round streak. Of course, there was a half in between that for Big Frames, for the half, and then the pistol, and then one. But first 2, then 6, and now back forth. Interesting kind of layout here as we're jumping back on into mid. Big Frame still spread out on the map. Again, concentration up the middle lane. Only real spot you're going to see here on split. Slow orb going to be placed. And the wall. B site, Tucker still sniffing, but the bomb bot will keep him at bay.
Cage triggered.
Sometimes we see players walk away from the owl drone. I wish we would see the same thing from this team with respect to the bomb bot. Just hide.
Yeah. One of the issues with it is sometimes you will eventually be on the path of it, right?
For sure.
And so you do have to respond at times. More often. What am I trying to say here? Not as often as people think, right? So There are a lot more opportunities to walk away from it than people actually do it. But you just have to give it the respect, though, because it can do damage. The owl drone doesn't do damage. It's just purely information.
Well, here's a little bit of a blind around the mulberry bush, and Big Frames are looking better here. Just beautiful cut down. And the defenders are able to take this one 11 points to 9. Big Frames 2 away from extending this contest. And they've got 2 in a row. Economy across the way. In shambles would be putting it harshly. But they are certainly not going to be able to buy what they want. Ooh, I thought of the sniper, opted instead for the sheriff. Man. I think we're guaranteed a map 3, to be honest with you. This is just a lockdown from Big Frames.
Yeah. Just luckily for spot up here as they try to go for a 4-stack push on to the A site. They're not facing down the barrel of that operator in the hands of CP2, but a nice slow orb here as it's going to be difficult for Nerf to try and wide peek this angle, but they do have the utility. They have the guns to work with. So here comes the boom bot. It gets cleared. They know they're on A ramp. Nerf has dropped down to 21 HP.
So better look for a spot up than I kind of expected. Of course, Sage does have the res for big frames, so it might be much ado about nothing. There it is. Winsom's up. Ain't no thing. Winsom's down. It is a thing. Buddy's so funny. 22 HPs for the Brimstone player.
Yeah, Bunny was just waiting for that res.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Winsome might have been AFK. He should have been able to get out of that. I'm
not expecting the res. Oh, no, God, I'm going to get my pizza. All right. Easy peasy for CP2. 4 on 4 here. One up high. And turn up, Caesar will grab it. One down below on the left, one down below on the right. Can't find either of them. Orbital strike will separate and the spike will go down. One in hell. And Nerf is there. One beyond that wall. Can't find the heads. Fakes diffuse. I found the word. And big frame still looking good. The diffuse will be strong. Big frames 1 away. Spot up with 9.
Yeah, I mean, unlikely that Nerf needs that extra ultimate charge from the defusal of the plant there, of the spike. But of course, you know, just still making sure your fundamentals are correct here. Big frames looking to send this to map number 3, but we do have a good buy coming out this round for spot up.
Good rifles here for spot up, and like you said, this could be their opportunity. Playing it differently, it's not really an option. Welcome to split. Big frames here. CP2 with the long range is probably the best option they have, but still been an issue for him. He has not been as successful here as he has been elsewhere. But his team has picked up the slack, if they're, you know, to say slack. No disrespect intended. Spot up, though. Leaving the spike at home, trying to sniff out something. Big frames playing very disciplined.
Yeah, they don't want to give up anything for free here. They're on the verge, sending it to a map number 3. They do have respect for the gunplay of spot up. Oh, they're just trying to delay them, slow them down. The res comes out for spot up, bringing this back up to a 5v5.
Shadows traveling.
Long range, good angle. Over here in screens. Not exactly where anybody wants to be at. Jumped up top, rocket shot, and it's a trade out. Tucker wins some. Winsome goes down after the fact. 4 players alive for spot up. Trying to plant. Nerf shows up. Another trade. 3 players on SU. And only 1 remaining for big frames. Spot up trying to keep themselves alive here in game 2. Smoked out of heaven. Turn up too easy. Do you save here? Or do you have enough money to play aggressively?
I think you do need a save. I mean,
yeah.
The chance of winning a 1v3 is quite low. Going for the exit frag, I'm not against. But trying to go for the heroic plays, it's gonna be tough. It does go down.
Big frames. What was different there that allowed Spot Up to really find that win? Because Big Frames has looked dominant. Like I said, 3 rounds in a row. 4, it was 1, and then they dropped it. That round that they had lost prior to this one, Big Frames, was kind of nonsense. And so 4 with an oopsie daisies is kind of how I'm looking at this. So what's different? Well, what did Spot Up do there?
I'm honestly not sure exactly what happened there. Sometimes it just does come down to being able to win that challenge here. So now we do have a little bit of a different hold. 3 over on B, 4 big frames that are worried about that mid push.
Smoked out still. CP2 puts the smoke here every single round. Look at Tucker. Wow, not good enough. Oh no. Couple of players coming here through the flank. Tucker should have told the teammates that, but this should be a run towards the other site now. And it will be. Spot Up has the info, and they're going to book it towards A. That said, Big Frame's going to be able to rotate just as fast as them. CP2 locked here in between. And what looked like Spot Up rush to the site is now going to be a Spot Up rush to rotate. The Spike player going to be caught out here by Randy Savage. Kill goes his way just once. And now it's 2 players versus 4. Turn up too easy down here. Likely going to get at least 1. Win some. Waiting. Not good enough. Tam. Beautiful crosshair location. And now going to come around. Look. No! The back to the wall. Cypher's alive. Turn up too easy. With that kill, has info.
No charges left.
Prepare for hellfire.
And that is it.
That's enough time. Big Frame's going to take this one. Game 3, baby. Game 3, baby.
Second one of the day.
Love to see that turnaround. Spot Up was playing so well in the first game. And then game 2 kind of lost it. Kind of had it. And then Big Frames comes through. And they're able to just turn things around. CP2, I mentioned, was the top frag on game 1. And I mentioned this before.